Men of Reddit, what do women do that they think is okay but is actually creepy? Not exclusively a woman thing, but my ex would screenshot our text conversations and send them to her family and friends for reaction. Like mundane conversations, not even anything interesting. It felt like a very creepy violation of my privacy. Also, she was an idiot. Hope you see this, Laura. Haha, this sounds like one of my exes who was also named Laura. This might be a cultural thing for Latinos, but there were some weird sexual comments said by female family members to my son when he was a toddler. They would call him my boyfriend and ask for kisses in a very aggressive way. When I changed his diapers, they'd stand around and say, "De quien es ese pipi?" which led me to always change his diaper in a private room, even when told that, "You can do it here, it's okay. We're all family." One of my aunts even commented on how his dick has grown since he was a baby. Yeah, his whole body has grown. There's no need to talk about his penis specifically. Step away from my child. I guess this is all done in a cute or innocent way, but I never liked it. I have a friend that whenever she starts dating a guy, just lists me off thing about the dude like she's listing a resume. Never anything about the personality, or sense of humor or what characteristics about them she enjoys. It's job, career, college, earnings, house. I had to tell her it was getting creepy because it just sounds like she's getting a checklist to impress people, not find a good person for her. I was dropping my kid off at my ex's place and her new boyfriend was there. She introduced him by saying, "This is Dan, he works at wherever it was and makes $116,000 a year." The poor guy looked deeply uncomfortable, failing to realize that sometimes free time needs to be me time and shouldn't automatically be she time. Similarly, trying to capitalize all my free time with activities. You can go to Karen's party by yourself. I don't know her, so stop trying to make me come along to what is clearly intended to be a girl's night out. After working 5 days a week, sometimes I don't want to have to stress about what my weekend is filling in with just to keep busy. It's okay to do nothing. Not so much creepy as overbearing, but trying to say they're the boss of my free time sucks, and the fallout for standing your ground also sucks. You have to install this GPS tracking app on your phone so I know where you are anytime I want to check. That's a serious trust issue. Yes, it is annoying. I'm so glad my wife doesn't need to check up on me. Her friend, on the other hand, has a boyfriend that is required to have the app installed in order to be in a relationship with her. The kicker? She feels she doesn't need the app installed because she won't cheat. I feel so bad for that guy. This shit just isn't fair. Disregard consent with gay male friends. Disregard consent with any males. Period. There are a lot of women who think sexual harassment is only when a male does it to a woman. Asking password to social accounts or phone. And also asking to set the same passwords for all social accounts. A few of my relationships have ended because my girlfriends wouldn't talk to me about an issue in our relationship. Which is weird cause supposedly that's a male trait. I just don't like confrontation. Well, the alternative is that I'm breaking up with you now because you've avoided talking to me about the issue for a few months when I keep trying to bring it up. So, it's not confrontation, it's a discussion. Ugh. I feel your pain, man. Unwanted physical contact. Was out to dinner with a bunch of friends, coincidentally, they were all women, and the waitress was hitting on me, which involved obvious compliments, which I don't care about, and putting her hands all over my shoulders and upper chest. We all had a laugh about it after, but I was seriously weirded out by it, and were the genders reversed, I guarantee no one would have been laughing about it. If the genders were reversed, it'd be a lawsuit. I'd wager that most women wouldn't do this and wouldn't think this is okay, but my now ex-girlfriend went through my phone without asking for permission. In my experience, not necessarily a majority, but not unusual. Which is why I conduct business through burner phones and dead drops. As a gay guy, women seem to think that it's okay to touch me, in a general way, and sometimes even in a more inappropriate way. Lady, I don't know who you are. I don't care who you are. Sure, we had a nice brief conversation, but don't touch me. Don't wrap your hands around my legs so you can gawk at the size of my legs. Don't squeeze my peck, or think that I want a hug despite never having met you before. I am avoiding physical contact not only to be respectful of your boundaries, but because I also have boundaries I don't want you to violate. Consent works both ways, always. I was watching Wendy Williams one day and she had Anderson Cooper on the show. I don't know why, but she started questioning his sexuality. Then she hugged him and smashed her boobs against his face. The audience was laughing. It was super awkward and you could tell he was uncomfortable. I remember thinking that it was sexual assault. Why do straight women think it's okay to do that to a gay man? She should show respect and not touch him in any way, let alone in any sexual way. And why are you so concerned about his sexuality? Why is it so important to you that any man be sexually attracted to you? It was awful. Ask their friends to give them explicit details of their sexual encounters, especially if it's with a boyfriend. My ex told me that she and all her friends all shared deep pics of their boyfriends with each other. I was aware that they talked about them sex whatnot, but showing pics is way over the line. Once I found that out, the well dried up. I would never show my girlfriend's nudes to my male friends, not just cause that's wrong, but also, selfishly, I don't want them knowing what's going on. When women say things like, "If I were 10 years younger," about underage boys, it's creepy, gives off pedo vibes, and if the genders were reversed you'd call the FBI. My dad married a woman when I was in middle school. She used to say this to me all the time. "If I were younger I would have picked you, not your dad." It always weirded me out. But she was weird and creepy on whole other levels. Making a new social media account after I block you. That's not a girl thing, that's a psychopath thing. The girl I blocked made over 20 accounts to contact me, ended up uninstalling Snap. Ex-girlfriend demanded I take down of a single picture of a female friend who I have known over a decade, and who is happily married to a mutual friend of ours. Said picture was part of a cluster of 8 total. The other 7 pictures were just group pictures of said friend and mostly other male friends. Man, you made me remember an ex-girlfriend of my uncle. When I was a kid, she made me torn apart all the photos he had of his ex-girlfriends. I wish I knew what I was doing back then. Talk like a child. I don't know if that is creepy, but it is super annoying sometimes. But I do like 87 voices in a day, so I let it slide. Straight girls who go to lesbian bars and get offended when a girl hits on them. How has nobody mentioned this? It's definitely not most women, but it does happen sometimes. Get pissed off if you are not in the mood for sex. Like, what the fuck, you're a man, you always want to have sex. Do you not like me anymore? No, Andrea, I was just not horny that day, and yes, I liked you a lot. I've had this happen with an ex. Was all good if she wasn't in the mood, but how dare I not be in the mood? Perving on men. So many times in the workplace I have heard women say what they would like to do to a certain man. Almost drooling in public. If a man said the same comments, they would be fired. The way girls share really personal things about guys in relation to sex. Society and the media would have you believe that guys talk about sex all the time, and just objectify the women that they've slept with. I don't know if maybe I'm just hanging out with the wrong people, but honestly the most you usually get out of a guy is just that they had sex with a girl. But girls tend to immediately report on things to their friends, and share details that honestly could be embarrassing or uncomfortable for the guy. It makes me really uncomfortable and creeped out to think that if I sleep with the girls I have to just accept that all of her friends are going to know every detail about the experience. Size, performance, how long it lasted, how I look. It just feels like a huge breach of privacy. Setting up traps to test us. Being upset with something we did or said in your dreams. Lying to our faces when we ask direct questions like, "What is wrong? How are you?" etc. Double standards on sexual harassment. I've pretty much only had female bosses at work in several jobs, and the amount of times I've received unwanted words, touches, hugs, grabs, feels, and kisses would shock most people. Wife bragged to friends about our sex life. We live in a small town, and now it feels like everywhere I go, I'm being giggled and smiled at. It's really violating. Late to the party, but I haven't seen this mentioned yet. Distributing nudes they get from guys to their friends without permission. I've caught several women doing it, and they'll argue about it if asked to stop. Yet another example of it only being an issue if the genders are reversed. Not creepy, but when a woman sees a single dad with his kid and feels it's okay to tell them they're doing great. I get they may feel like they're being supportive or whatever, but the stigma behind guys not knowing how to raise a child is infuriating. I have 50-50 custody of my child and she's raised brilliantly by both me and her mom. I can guarantee mom never gets random praises just for walking through a shop with our child though. It's not supportive, it's condescending as hell, and please stop. Honestly, hands down, women who exploit emotions of men. We may not all cry in the movie theater, but we are not incapable of experiencing deep, painful emotional wounds. In general, it seems to be more acceptable for women to rag on guys for our image, like our height, weight, or income, while the flip side being that men cannot criticize women without being a pig. So yeah, women who nitpick guys for superficial reasons are creepy, arrogant, and covered with more red flags than a game of Minesweeper. Being hypocritical about sexism. Hear about guy hitting girl. What an a-hole! Hear about girl hitting guy. Well, what did he do? Older man hitting on much younger woman. What a creep! Older woman hitting on much younger man. You get it, girl! Making small penis jokes. Funny. Making fat jokes about men. Funny. Making short jokes about men. Funny. Making any jokes about a woman's appearance. Super not okay. What creepy things women do that they think is okay? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.